It's 1-800 Dr. Laura. 1-800-375-2872. Jennifer, welcome to the program.
Hi, Dr. Laura. Thank you for taking my call.
My pleasure. What's up?
I just have to go on record as saying I'm actually really nervous. I know everyone says that. I'm a really extroverted and outgoing person, so I don't know why this has me nervous. But I've been a long-time listener. I listened when my son was in my womb, and he's 27, so I remember when you used to talk about Eric when he was a little boy. So we go way back.
Way back.
I'm calling today about my 25-year-old daughter. As I mentioned to your screener, she is living with a man 10 years her senior. They moved back to Washington, where we live, together to take new jobs, both of which were very promising, good career jobs. And he, I did not know this, has an alcohol problem. He entered an inpatient rehab in December to, kind of get away from the temptation of alcohol, but then found himself back drinking. The job wasn't going well, and so he tendered his notice, and they basically told him to get out. One day after that happened, he collapsed in their apartment, and she ended up having to call 911 and take him to the hospital, and it was something related to the drinking. And so he's now trying to quit drinking again, but he came over for dinner on Sunday with my husband and me, and he was shaking and just kind of looked like a bump on the log. And I just my question for you is, how far do my husband and do we take her out for a cup of coffee and express to her our concerns?
No,
how
she's
far
25. No, nothing. You do nothing. I wouldn't have him over for dinner, though.
Okay.
See, you can't tell your daughter to or not to do anything. You have no right to do that. She's 25. And if you start trying to do that, she won't have anything to do with you.
That was my concern.
So, and it's a reasonable concern. But what you can say, he's a drunk and a loser. Appreciate you believe you love him and want to shack up, which is something you'd have to explain 20 years from now to kids that you're going to have with somebody else. Nonetheless, we're not interested in a relationship with him. We're interested in a relationship with you, so come to dinner, we'll go out together sometimes. We don't want to have anything to do with him. That's our choice for our home and our lives. We are not, my dear daughter, telling you to dump him. If you like to stay with him for the rest of your life until you're dead, that's what you'll do. But we obviously can't support a daughter with a loser drunk. Obviously, parents can't do that. So it's kind of ridiculous, my dear daughter, for you to imagine that we would just be embracing and accepting of our beautiful, intelligent daughter being with a loser drunk. So we don't want to deal with him, but we desperately, lovingly want to deal with you.
And if she says she won't come on Sunday to Mother's Day, if he can't come as well,
then you know how sick your daughter is.
Right. She's so smart.
Understand.
I told my husband.
Well, no, she's not
like
so smart. She's not so smart.
Right.
No, she's not. No, she's not so
I
smart.
told my husband I felt like I was watching A Star is Born. Like one person is on the rise and one person is just crumbling.
Right. And in the movie, if he didn't kill himself, she'd still be stuck with him.
Right.
And he'd probably have beaten her to death.
So we don't express concern about the relationship. We just express.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Nope. You can say, I know no parent who would be enthusiastic about their lovely daughter shacking up with a loser drunk. I don't think there's any parents, and I don't think someday, my dear daughter, when you become a parent, that you would be enthusiastic about that either. But that's your life, your decision. But our life is, we don't want to have to deal with him. You love him? Fine. But we don't want to have to deal with him.
Okay. I think we
Well,
could do that.
Then I'm not going to come Mother's Day. And I think it's reasonable for you to say at that point, really, 25 years of loving you, raising you, protecting you, supporting you, nurturing you, gets flushed down the toilet because of some loser guy. Seriously? You seriously want to say that to our faces? Really? Seriously? That's what I think you ought to say.
Okay. I will have to find the courage for that, but I will dig deep and I will lean on my husband for that as well.
I don't want you leaning on anybody, and I don't want you worry about courage. This is about you being a good mother.
Yeah.
She's 25. You still have to be a good mother.
Yeah.
This is you.
You're right.
This is you being the matriarch. Yeah, because I'm so scared I'll sit by my husband. Maybe I'll let him do it. Come on.
Well, I have a stronger voice than my husband anyway, so I shouldn't have even said that. But yeah, you're right. It flies in the face of being a stay-at-home mom and putting her through private school and paying for 15 years of dance and...
Oh, that's not what I said. I said loving you, caring about you, supporting you, nurturing you. I didn't talk about money. You do it the way you just did it, and she'll spit in your face, and I would support her doing that. This isn't about what you pay. There are plenty of really sucky, crappy parents out there who think they're good parents because they cough up dough and buy their kids everything, and they are the worst parents out there because they give their kids no hope to build anything from themselves. No, this is love. Take care, hugged, kissed, dried your tears, nurtured you, protected you, did all of that. You mentioned the human things, not the financial things. It doesn't mean anything in this context. And you're willing to exchange 25 years of that for a loser drunk. Wow. Really? And I expect you to say, really? Really? Really?
I'm glad I called because it was the opposite of what we were talking about doing.
Okay. Yeah, because what you would have done would have just totally alienated her, and it's very hard to come back from that. You sounded petty and controlling.
That was my concern. That was our concern.
Right. I am so glad you called me. I am so glad.
Thank you, Dr. Laura. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you, too, for having the courage, as you mentioned, to call. Yeah, I'm sitting on a huge blue... Oh, you use these balls in workouts and stuff, but I'm sitting on one now so I can bounce and wiggle because, 3 hours of sitting this way, everything keeps moving. So we're going to take a break, and I'm going to move some more. So give me a call, please, at 1-800-375-2872, especially if you're needing a slap of some sense. I'm not even going to say common sense, because if it were common, you wouldn't have to call me about it. You're the matriarch. Are you sure you're being a good mother? Or is your definition of being a good mother kissing ass to your kids so they can never have self-respect? Something to think about. I'm Dr. Laura Schlesinger. My number, 1-800-375-2872.